hypocrites. Which I
no matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians believe now is not about the government. Who can come and salvage us from where we are? Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act, I propose to get the lead of this minister and the cabinet.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. As always said, there are two sets of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
what Nigerians believe now is not about the government. Who can come and salvage us from where we are? Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
I will place economic stability.
Top of the morning to you and welcome to Open Conversation on Atlantic Television Network. Open Conversation is the network's flagship political platform through which trending political news, events and stories are discussed with stakeholders. Through these conversations, ATN uses political talks about specific issues, party system and actor to explore hope and engender positive impact to the society. And today on Open Conversation, we'll be looking at reverse crisis. I will not apologize to Odili, says Wike. Well, that's basically what we're going to be looking forward to today on Open Conversation. And join us today. Remember, we are open for adverts, placements, bookings, and commercials, and you can connect with us on all our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, Twitter, Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. Joining us today on Open Conversation is no other person than George Azunda Chinda. He's a political analyst. Good morning and welcome to Open Conversation. How are you doing?
Very well, sir.
All right.
Thank God.
How's the festive season for you? How has the festive season been for you?
Well, we thank God for life. The most important thing is that there is life. Unlike previous festive period where you have fuel crisis and all of that, this time around we didn't have it, though it's still costly, but the availability of it, made the festive period a bit better. All
right, so if I get it correctly, the availability of fuel is minimal, or the scarcity is minimal this time around,
there's not even scarcity, it's always available everywhere. It's just that the purchasing power is not there, but however, the availability of fuel makes movement easier. At least people didn't suffer much to look for it.
Nice one. All right, so let's delve into our stories for today. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nyesom Wike, yesterday stressed that he would not tender an apology to former Governor of Rivers State, Dr. Peter Odili, over recent negative remarks he made against the elder statesman. The FCT minister said this at a luncheon he organized for his political associates and stakeholders at his residence in Port Harcourt. Wike was reacting to a call earlier by some elders in Rivers State under the aegis of concerned elders of Rivers State for him to tender an unreserved apology to Odili following his recent remarks against the founder of Pamo University of Medical Sciences. Wike once more alleged that Odili switched an appointment meant for his nephew to his daughter, maintaining that it was the elder statesman that had converted the state to his personal estate, describing Odili as a bishop. He said, they said I should apologize for what? There is no law that says their daughter should not take up appointment. I agree, but I said, as an elder statesman, you should not have given that what belongs to your nephew to your daughter. Did I say that there is a law that said that your daughter should not be something? But you said somebody is converting Rivers State to his personal estate. It is not correct. The man who is converting Rivers State to personal estate is you, Odili, and to crown it up, you are now the general overseer. I didn't say anything wrong, so you cannot kill me for what I didn't say. They say Tinubu should be careful with somebody like me. Tinubu is not like you, Odili. If you are a good person, Tinubu called Rivers people as an elder statesman. He wanted you to make peace, but you came home. Ordinarily, what you would have done is to call Mr. President back and tell him how you have tried to implement some of them and ask him if there is any way you can do the rest, rather than disobeying everything. Speaking further, Wike said everything has time. He is praising the courts, the same courts that they said all kinds of things on national television against. Now, when they get judgment, the judiciary is correct. When they don't get favorable judgment, the judiciary is cash and carry. I believe everything has limits, and I want all of us to believe and have confidence. The wheel of justice is very slow, but at the end of the day, it will come. He urged his supporters amid political crisis in the state to continue to be patient, whether it goes the way or not. We cannot be like them to disparage the judiciary. If the judiciary is down, Nigeria is down. It might not end in your favor. It must not be that it favored me all the time. All right, George Azunda, I'd like to get your thought as regards to these. Wike saying he's not going to apologize to, orderly, after they've called him, they've asked him several times to, tender an apology to orderly as regards his comment.
Okay, thank you very much. I completely align with Wike's position. The reason is simple. If you complain of heat, then you don't have any business going into the kitchen. Because definitely, with the burning of the stove or the gas, it produces heat.
All right.
Odley was the first that fired the salvo against Wike. And like Wike said there, just in response to what Odley, you cannot accuse a man of trying to, convert the state to his personal property when you, on the other hand, is the one making efforts in doing so. An appointment, if Wike said there was an appointment, because he was very close, he was at the center of it all, and in government they give patronages to who they want. If they have conceived someone from Odley's family, not the daughter, to take up a commissionership slot from Onega, Oboebo Mandoni local government area, and someone was conceived, only for Odley as someone who was also close and a very senior citizen in the business of politics in this state, decided to convert it for his daughter. Then he is the one, converting the state to his personal estate, not Wike. So I don't see any reason why Wike should apologize, because Wike never abused him. He was the one that fired the first salvo, and Wike is not, the what we call the orderer. Cherry, where it is easy for you to press the mouth open and you expect the person not to respond. Wike is not that. What Wike did was to, respond to what Odley did. You accuse the man of trying to convert the state to your personal estate, whereas you're the one indirectly doing so. So there's no basis for the apology. There's no basis. Moreover, it is all politics. So I don't think anything that was said there is taken to heart. It is just what it is, politics.
All right, so let's take a close look at what Wike is doing, talking about, having a River State to himself, right? From his actions, from the ongoing feud in River State particularly, what would you make of that? Would you say, I know would you say, okay, let me put it this way, would you say that Wike is not, trying in any way to garner River State for himself?
Please,
from everything he has been doing, as regards the feud in River State, now, would you say his actions does not portray that he's trying to garner River State for himself?
I don't understand what you mean by his action, not trying to portray someone trying to...
I mean, he's at FCT and is now eyeing the affairs in River State.
Is it even possible for one person, to corner the asset of the state to himself? Is it possible? It is not. These are just political rhetorics, trying to paint someone in bad light. We are witnesses to what Wike, as then governor of Rivers State, did in Rivers State. He did not do those things with his personal money. It was still the resources of the state. So if he was trying to pocket all those things to himself, I don't think he would have done all those things. I don't think. So those things he did was with the state resources. So why are they even... See, let me tell you, we are in a state where politics thrive. And sometimes when you want to bring down someone, you try to accuse them of something. people can definitely accuse you of anything. Like Wike said, people have framed him up, of armed robbery. People have framed him up of, murder cases and things like that. There's nothing has never seen his political sojourn. So these things are permissible in our kind of politics. People would say a lot of things, all because they want to sway their supporters, into believing what they are saying, all for the purpose of, winning an election and also gaining some kind of traction. So it doesn't really mean that that's the truth. So you cannot accuse Wike of, trying to corner the resources of the state to himself. Can one person, that's the question, can one person and his cronies corner the entire resources of the state to themselves? It's not possible. Look at what the man has, done in the past 8 years that he reigned as governor of Rivers State. Those things was done with the resources of the state. Sometimes we even the media, I want to accuse them of not doing the rightful thing sometimes. There are ways you can, carry out some kind of investigation to know how much came into Rivers State from when Wike became governor to when he left. What are the projects and, programs that he did? How much did it cost? Then from there you can know whether it was possible for him to have converted the asset of the state to his personal use and all of that. Those are things you can find out easily.
Well, talking about Wike's administration, I also like to ask this particular pertinent question, right? He ruled for 8 years, right? Were there any interference from his predecessor, like what we are experiencing today?
Please, let me get you back again.
Okay. I said all through his tenure, right, as a River State governor, that's Barrister Nyesom Wike, right? Were there any sort of interference from his predecessor while he was still...
You're talking about interference. You need to look at the situation of things when you're talking about interference. When Wike came on board, Wike won an election as an opposition party. So the man he took over from had no business to interfere in whatever. He had no business because they were not of the same party. Now, talking about interference, what interference are you talking about? Has Wike interfered in any way? This is what people, keep saying from the outside.
All right.
Wike was the leader of the government. It was through the structure that he set up that brought about the incumbent governor. And whether you like it or not, he has to, as another statesman who has been there, he has been every right to make 1 or 2 inputs. It's a natural thing, it's normal. There's nothing, that one can say about that. So, but when you talk about interference, I don't know if you're trying to say that he was the one as a de facto governor or something. There's nothing like that. Governor Sim Fobara had been the one, running the administration. It is just normal in every political climate in Nigeria that, if you have a predecessor who he came from the same party with you, who was instrumental in your emergence, one way or the other, you consult him for one thing or the other. It's normal in politics. So if that is what you call interference, I say, okay, no problem. But not that the man was trying to run the government for Fubara. Leave those those things were just what people were saying, but there's nothing like that. But you cannot say that a man who midwifed a process would not have access or would not want to make input into 1 or 2. It's normal in our claim.
All right, so just for clarity's sake, what would you make of this statement by Barrister Nyesom Wike saying that if the judiciary is down, Nigeria is down?
That is the honest truth. Like I have always said here in our different programs here, I've always said it. People should stop denigrating the judiciary. The judiciary is one arm of the government. They are the arbiter. There is a reason why they became one of the arms of the government. Without the judiciary, then we'll go back to state of nature where those who has the strength, the power, can overrun those who are weak, and nobody will say anything. Judiciary is there to ensure that the laws of the land are followed. That is not to say that there are no challenges here and there, but overall, you cannot dismiss the judiciary because they play a very vital role. So I agree with you completely that if anything happens to the judiciary, anything negative happens to the judiciary, then Nigeria is gone. Because what that means is that even on my way to this place, someone who is stronger may decide to stop me somewhere that you can't move, and nobody will say anything. So the judiciary is very, very crucial, to the survival of Nigeria's democracy and even the Nigerian nation. So I completely align with that.
All right, then. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, open conversation continues. Stay with us.
And comfort.
the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites. Which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians believe now is not about the government. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
Thanks for staying with us. You're watching the Open Conversation on Atlantic Television Network, and joining us today on Open Conversation is George Azunda. Well, before we go on a break, I would like to ask you, well, VK made a statement here that he loves the presidency of the administration of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and is advising the River State, citizens to support the presidency as regards his governance. I would like you to also give me your take on that.
The fact is, Tinubu is the president of Nigeria, and whether you think he's governing well or not, he's the president, so he deserves every support to do well. He's not there for himself, he's there for the entirety of the Nigerian people. So if he succeeds, the Nigerian nation has succeeded, which will impact positively on the citizens of the nation. If he fails, it will also impact negatively on the citizens. So we have every reason to support him like the minister has called us to do. It's very important. And I must say this, I'm not a supporter of Tinubu per se. I'm not in his party. I do not hate him. He's the president of Nigeria, so I have every right to support him to succeed. If you look at so far what he's doing, he's taken very strong decisions that some presidents could not take as at when they were there, because they were, trying to take the safer path where they will not have backlash from Nigerians.
Right.
But the country was drifting. Today, the president has come to say, I will take tough decisions that will, in future, impact positively in the Nigerian nation. Today, we are saying that, like I said earlier in my opening statement here, that the festive period, for the first time in many years, we never had the scarcity of PMS. The availability is there, even though the cost was high, but the cost is gradually dropping. At some point, we bought up to 1,004. Today, we are buying 1,050 naira. Some places you see 150 naira, things like that. So gradually, the market forces will ensure that the price of PMS reduces, and that is a very big plus for the president of this nation. Other presidents could not do that. Right. So I believe with time, all things being equal, the president will achieve something positive that we all will be proud of. So I agree with Nelson Wige that we should support and pray for the president to succeed. All right, then talking about the feud between Odili and Wike, do you think the president has a role to play in the settlement of all of this? In what? In the feud, in settlement of the feud between Odili and Wike. Odili and Wike, they haven't feud. They are not. I don't see. Well, let me say this. It will be petty for the president to call for a kind of peaceful resolution. Yes. Between, it's Odili and Wike having challenges. This is just normal political rhetoric that people say. It is normal within our political system here that people can fire salvos and there will be responses. So it is not an issue. If you are talking about a feud between the camp of the minister and that of the governor, one would say, okay, that can, to an extent, make some meanings, to the people. Not between Odili and Wike. Are they having any issue? Well, if you could recall, Wike said that Odili